You guys able to hear us? We got mad echo. And latency. Welcome here inside the Student Activity Center in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. My name is Parker Morrison alongside
Lincoln Dodds.
And we got the University of South Florida Bulls taking on the Central Michigan Chippewas. Now, CMU is having a little bit of technical difficulties right now with the stream, so we will get that fixed for you guys. The Rocket League wasn't installed on the computer. We're trying to get that all fixed out. But let's run down what we're kind of expecting in today's game. USF coming off their most recent loss to Old Dominion that we could find, 3-1. CMU is going to face the Monarchs on the 21st of this month, so we're going to see how that plays out. But with them coming off a loss, CMU coming off quite the heated win. Lincoln, what are you expecting to see out of these Chippewas?
I'm expecting to see quite an even game here in this mid-season game. I'm expecting to see great amounts of pressure exerted by both teams as one tries to really try to change up that pressure, try to move it back with that loss to Old Dominion from USF, and I'm expecting to see CMU try to push that advantage and continue their win streak that they have been on in the last few weeks.
Well, they're coming off quite the heater, winning their second of the season against NIU. That was the trio himself, Golden Ice, and Boers. The lineup for USF that we could find was Yagami. He's an SSL in 2s and an SSL in 3s, so he is going to be the biggest threat for the Chippewas. Dirty White Cloud, he's champs in 1, so not that big of a threat for the Chippewas, but he is grand champ in 3s, nearing SSL. Durkee for the Bulls. GC in every single game mode in Rocket League, which I feel like is more impressive than being SSL in just 1.
Certainly, that's a lot of hours in the game, folks. It's really, really hard to do. That's a lot to do, especially in some of those more obscure game modes that you don't see terribly often. I think we're going to see a very even matchup. We see Trio here line up. He's probably going to line up against Yagami, as we've seen him do in the past, where he challenges the most experienced player. Yagami does outrank him a little bit in terms of ranking with Trio. I believe he's a grand champion, where Yagami is obviously the supersonic legend. But I think we're going to see a very even matchup, as we've seen from Trio, keeping himself in every game this year.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Golden Icy is high grand champ in 3s and 2s. Trio, high grand champ in 3s and 2s. And to finish it off, Boers, as you can guess, high grand champ in 3s and 2s. So all players on the CMU team, high grand champ in 2s and 3s. Don't play 1s too much, which is why you can't really judge Dirty White Cloud on the offensive standpoint, where he's only champ in 1s. That's not too big of an issue for him, as, a lot of people just don't play 1s, and that's okay, but a lot of people also say 1s is the best game mode to get better at the game, and that's what you see a lot of these players out here on the Chippewas do, is they play 1s in their spare time, 3s when they're together, so we'll see if that, has some experience out on the pitch here today.
Yeah, I was talking to Boers and Trio the other day, and they said they actually recruited Golden Icy from singles themselves. That's where they got him from originally. You can see that especially in Golden Ice's ability to go 1v1 in those tight moments and get those expert finishes that he's so good at doing. So I think 1s is really a good indicator on how good you are individually, but obviously Rocket League is a big team game, especially when it comes to these 3-on-3s that we've seen. So the chemistry really is going to determine a lot of these matchups.
Well, it looks like we have Rocket League installed and ready to get going. So when we come back, we will have the start of the match for you in just a moment. We'll be right back. Well, we are underway, just got all set. CMU against the Bulls of University of South Florida. We apologize for the slight lag here.
We're seeing here a very aggressive start. As we mentioned before, we've seen both teams really move, try to feel each other out in these early stages, see what the other team's capable of. We have seen CMU be very effective here in these early games. We're seeing Cold and Icy here going the early attack. Shot off the backboard, Trio trying to get on that second ball. We're seeing an aggressive shot out of here, and we have seen an early goal by Yagami in UCF's favor. Any thoughts on that?
Well, CMU not really playing their best defensive standpoint there. They didn't have any men back, and USF took advantage very quickly on that. We see Yagami take the first goal. That's the person we talked about that CMU has to watch out for. But, I mean, that was just coincidence. He scored the first goal as Trio whiffs completely on that one. CMU looking a little lackluster. They're going to have to collect themselves, try and get back in this one off that early from Yagami.
It could be something to do with a little bit of a delay. We see that a lot in professional sports where teams can be shaken up by the little bit late of a start time. As we see another goal here by UCF. This time it was Cloud on a big tap. Once again, CMU does not have a man back with any boost, as Cold and Icy was left without any boost here. It is 2-0 UCF.
We apologize for the delay again, but we are back at kickoff. Wares has a quick one. He puts it in. That's good. Chippewas 2-1.
That is a very important goal here. That 2-0 is a very, very good score to come back from, as we see a great kickoff there. Very well planned kickoff by CMU. Very similar to what we saw at the very beginning of the season. We haven't seen those as many out of CMU. We haven't seen as many kickoff goals from them recently.
CMU always good on the kickoff goals. However, USF has learned from that. Durkee has boost. He air dribbles. He's got control. Gets past one. Cold and Icy says no. Dirty White Cloud in the corner now. Tries to swivel around to Chippewa. Trio denies the chance.
Little tap off the wall there. We're seeing a 3-high press by UCF here as a counterattack comes in. Cold and Icy nearly got there. Was blocked by a UCF defender. So seeing CMU try to settle in, control the game a little bit, settle it down. We're seeing Cold and Icy here with the air dribble. Just runs out of boost a little early there.
Trio looking like he's not playing his best Rocket League today. The Chippewas really expect a big performance out of this leader every single time. Turkey, a complete whiff there, and you know, we were talking him up about the rankings for both teams. This is just not something you see out of either team from either rank.
No, we haven't seen a particularly fast game either, especially with these higher ranked players. We usually see very quick attacks, very quick defense. We've seen a lot of the ball in the middle, not as much with the back and forth style, but as I'm saying that, we're seeing that back and forth style come out in the middle stages. You're going to see an attack here by UCF, but it is easily deflected away by Cold and Icy. Any thoughts on the total outcome
An opportunity now. Blair's air dribbles up. He's got a chance. No. Cold and Icy pops it down to the corner. Tries to center one for the Chippewas, and it's sent all the way down to the zone. Durkee's got that one and misses wide right.
A very open shot there. An opportunity for UCF to go up 3-1. He does miss it. That little bit of extra movement that he did not want. It's hard to kill the momentum here, especially with how fast these guys are moving in the air.
Trio on Yagami. You said we were going to see that matchup quite often. Haven't seen it too much tonight yet thus far. Dirty White Cloud has an opportunity, and that's centered. Oh, that goes far right. Yagami almost snuck one by a Chippewa defender, but it's denied, and it stays 2-1. Miscommunication there from the Chippewas. That could have been dangerous as Blair's fakes the goal. Trio now with it. And that goes off his front bumper. He's not able to do anything with it. Flip reset from Icy.
They're a little cold. They're seeming not terribly energetic here. As UCF gets another open goal, Dirk taking a little bit of an open goal there from his teammate. But the score is 3-1 nonetheless, as CMU seems to be getting almost dominated in pure energy here early in this game. Well, not really early anymore. We are 3 minutes in, going into the last 2 minutes of this game. Any thoughts on if CMU can pull this back in the late stages?
Well, CMU is just simply not getting enough. Trio misses the wide open net there. I couldn't believe it. Blair's finishes for him. And as I said, this is just not a performance we see from Trio very often. I can't believe he missed that wide open of a net. That could have been detrimental for him. Blair's thankfully there to finish it off. 3-2 we stand here with 1:39 left to go in this matchup.
He did redeem himself a little bit, kicked out that goalkeeper, really tried to redeem himself from that as we see another attempted Kickoff goal as we see Trio with a nice shot on goal. Very good save there by Dirk to keep it out and keep it from even in the score. CMU, we're seeing that two forward, one back that we've seen be so effective for them, especially last week, the week before that. But we're going to see if we see a difference in strategy as the time is winding down. Hold nice, he takes a little bit there from Trio. Seeing Trio here go for the 1v1. Just barely can't get on the end of it.
Looked like he actually tried to bump there. He's got an opportunity. That is no good. He didn't have enough boost to get there. But Cold and Icy on the recollection. 1v1 against Dirk. That goes over his front bumper. Trio's going to try to put it back. He's in the corner with 0 boost. Chippewas forced to recollect themselves. Wares is going to win that 50 though. He'll take it up near the ceiling. Pass over to Cold and Icy. That one's deflected from Yagami. Trio air dribbling it now. Tried for the flip reset. Didn't get it quite there. Central trying to get a goal. They've got 35 seconds left to do so to tie this one up 3-3.
We've seen them. I think they might try to play. They obviously don't want to go in overtime in this early game, but we have seen CMU be very effective in overtime. We saw it last week against NIU where they went in overtime in one of the games, and they were very, very effective in really putting the press on in that late stage. And it's more that time to try to get CMU to wake up here in this closing stage of Game 1.
Now, as good as a player as Yagami is, I don't know how he's playing with his grass boost right now. That is the most annoying boost in the game. But nonetheless, his team gets the job done, Game 1. He'll drop it to the ground, and CMU falls 3-2, the first matchup against USF. They've got a second game coming up in just a couple seconds, but Central going to take this intermission to regroup, kind of see what went wrong, and Trio sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. That's not something you see pretty much ever against this team.
No, truly an uncharacteristic, sort of lapse a little bit out of Trio. Not to say that he was the only problem, but there certainly were some communication issues all over the field from CMU. I do think we are going to see a sort of refocusing, as we've seen with many other teams. They're going to refocus here going into Game 2. Really try to play it like it's 0-0. It's not 0-0 obviously, but they're going to try to play it like it is.
Well, CMU always comes through in crunch time. They've been phenomenal thus far in the year when it comes to crunch time games. So CMU, we apologize for the delay in the graphic here. We'll get it all set up and get it ready to go.
We're seeing them use that timeout time between games where they stand up, maybe talk to your teammates a little bit, try to figure out what they're going to do to change the strategy and really take hold of this second game. Because the second game we have seen, it really pushes the momentum really to one side. If USF takes the second game here, CMU's playing for their life for the remainder of the set. And they don't want to do that because that is exhausting, especially with the second game here against Kent State. It's hard to play from behind, especially if Kent State is very strong. It's going to be very hard for them to play from behind 2 games to try to win the series.
Well, the Golden Flashes are going to come next, but right now, Central's got to worry about the Bulls, and they are about to do so. Game number 2 is underway, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go, and we have got ourselves some quick pressure from the Chippewas. Wares is going to put that one to the center, and Central already, pedal to the metal right away. That's a good sign from these Chippewas. Is coming out early, getting some pressure on net, and showing these Bulls that they are still in this thing. One game doesn't mean a lot when it's a best of 3. As we'll get set, a quick bump from Cold and Icy there, sends Trio to the corner where Wares gets one right back.
Wares does get that boost, and you see Cold and Icy. They're really trying to dominate, starve out UCF from their corner boost that they need to defend so much. We might see an early goal here from UCF if nobody can get back.
And that one was savable. I don't think the Chippewas knew it was there, but Trio, again, another mistake by him, causes a goal, whiffs on the pinch. Central couldn't get there in time. Cold and Icy realized it's too little too late that it was savable. 1-0. USF strikes first blood yet again here in game number 2. Cold and Icy is going to take this one to the ceiling. He's got a double tap opportunity. Tries for it. No good. Trio bump play. Blares to finish it off. Does he get it? Yes, he does. 1-1. Chippewas tied up. 4 minutes left to go.
It was a very important goal here. As we see a full team goal, we see Trio get involved there with Blares there to finish it off. As we've seen, he's been so consistent in those moments. Nothing too flashy like we've seen out of Cold and Icy, but he's always there, and he's always there for those consistent finishes that are so needed on the CMU team.
Back to kickoff. Yet again for the Bulls and the Chippewas as Boyers is going to send that one center, and it's kicked out by a Bull. Boyers off the backboard now. Trio's got an opportunity. He'll dump one down. No good. Boyers finishes it off yet again. That's 2-1. He's picked up his second of the game and 3:49 left to go. Chippewas take their first lead of the series.
That rotation was truly genius to get that corner boost, be able to telegraph that save by UCF and be in the perfectly right spot is something we've seen so much out of Boyers. It's almost become his signature in these games where he's just there. It seems like he's always just there to finish it off and end a big possession like we've seen. As we're seeing Trio go up again, he might have a beat on the UCF.
Oh, what a play there by Trio. He thought he was going to go for the shot, but he went for the bump, and USF was in shambles. I don't think his own teammate expected that one as he whiffed on the open net. But what a play by him. He's certainly stepped it up in these past couple minutes. And as a save by Durkee, keeps it 2-1. A recollection from himself. He tries for the flip reset. No dice. Chippewas take it the other way.
Yeah, we see Colton Icy there just a little bit. He overplayed it just a little bit there. He definitely did not expect that to go through. He would not be blamed for not expecting that, as that was a truly incredible play out of Trio and something we can hope that he can carry into the rest of this game.
USF putting the pressure on now. They've got a lot of opportunities coming against the Chippewas. Haven't been able to capitalize on any one but one thus far as we sit here 2-1 with 2:40 left to go in this matchup. Central down one game, looking to get the momentum back as they've got a couple chances. Yagami is going to take that one the other way and is actually hit by his own teammate there. That was a dangerous play as they had an open net.
They did. I think they're seeing a little bit. We saw it in the first game. I think that stolen goal may have led on more than they thought, as we're seeing Durkee here in Cloud really having communication issues or chemistry issues, something in that sort, where they just can't seem to play together like we've seen later in the season from most of these teams. We've seen a great amount of gelling happen by everybody, but it is possible they're still having communication issues between them.
CMU looking to bounce back. That's a quick save from the Chippewas as Trio's going to center it. Yagami puts it right up for Colton Icy. He's got an opportunity and Durkee clears it. That was a rough play from Yagami.
Good shot by Trio here.
Dangerous.
A brilliant save there by Yagami to keep this game in reach for USF. As we see a center here, a beautiful center by Durkee. Yagami sitting in that front post. A goal that we have seen also common here, especially in these later games, with the communication just being there and the chemistry being fully formed. Yagami seems to be the glue that keeps this team together. And we're going to see if they can adapt to try to stop Yagami from continuing to disrupt what CMU is trying to do.
All tied up here at 2 with 1:30 left to go, and a quick pinch comes off, and Colton Icy 3-2. Chippewas take another lead. That was a back-to-back goal scoring opportunity for them. Trio went for the center. It got pinched by a Bull, and Yagami wasn't expecting Colton Ice to be there right away. It drops down, and as you mentioned in the pregame, Colton Icy is the biggest capitalizer on offensive chances for this team, and he does so yet again. What a save by him. Speaking of Colton Icy, he'll flick it all the way down and try to get a third.
Seeing here with a big center, you see Trio waiting down at the bottom, just barely can't get a touch on there. As we're seeing UCF go the other way, they do have a person in the middle. As we're seeing Yagami go for the feint on Colton Icy, he does not fall for it though. Very importantly, we're seeing a big counterattack here over and over. Colton Icy nearly off the post by him. I don't think the UCF goalkeeper touched it. We're seeing a very back and forth game in the closing stages with 45 seconds remaining in this game. Seeing Boyers here with an opportunity, just barely off the crossbar, but he's going to drop it for Trio with a shot. Another off the post. Boyers trying to get a little bit more on it. He just can't get that finishing touch to end the game. Well, nice
a Trio opportunity. He capitalizes 4-2. That could be the insurance marker for this game number 2. What a play there. Boyers drops down and Yagami looks over. He doesn't see Trio coming right away, so he's not going up the backboard there. He's going to stay on the ground as he expects Boyers to capitalize on the opportunity, but Trio comes in swiftly and silently. Yagami doesn't expect that one, and the Chippewas lead 4-2, showing that, one game isn't really a determining factor as the Chippewas, playing significantly better Rocket League than the match previous.
Yeah, we're seeing at the very ending stages, both teams are just trying to sort of ice this game. We'll go into game 3 with a little bit of a, we might see a late goal here. Trio's there to save it, just keep this game dead. We're seeing CMU will close out this second game, making it all even at 1-1. We saw exactly what CMU wanted to do, really play it like it was a 0-0 game, like it was their first game. They want to ignore that very first game and really play like they are even. And obviously we saw it with a back and forth 2-4 win for CMU.
Well, Trio is sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Cold and Icy coming in second and Blair's in third, but you know, Blair's really the story of that opening couple goals for the Chippewas. They're making the momentum swing so heavily in their favor. And that first goal was really a setting the tone moment for the Chippewas against these Bulls. Because the first game, Central did not play anything like we know that they're able to. As we were talking them up, you know, they're Grand Champ, almost SSL in every single game mode. And that first game looked like they were playing in a Diamond League almost. And that second game, they really showed that, you know, they've got that 3v3 experience. They've got that Grand Champ experience. And they can hold their own against these Bulls as we're going to head into game 3 in just a moment where we're all tied up 1 game apiece.
Yeah, we saw a night and day difference between the first game and second game for CMU. South Florida able to just sort of like, they're sort of keeping consistent, which is good for CMU. They're going to try to keep capitalizing, keep getting better throughout the game, and try to seal away this game 3, which will push it to a 2-1 win, a 2-1 lead in the set. And they're going to hope to keep building and eventually end this game quite, hopefully, finitely in this game 3. Seeing a quite neutral kickoff here. As we see Cold and Icy go up the wall, he's going to try to force those 1v1s. He's been so effective in them in the weeks past. We haven't seen him as much this week, but he has been really effective in the past. Coming from that 1v1 environment, it is something that is very common there. We're seeing Trio just sort of float down, try to get something on it. Blair's in the middle.
Almost forced that one in to open the goal scoring for game number 3, but Dirty White Cloud's going to drop it. Looked for Durkee, he couldn't collect it. His Trio was on the 50, but it's back in the corner where Cold and Icy takes it down the wall, right side. He 50s, pivots on a dime on that one. Trio's got an opportunity. That one goes crossbar, no good on the recollection. Cold and Icy there to take it. Corner bounce to Dirty White Cloud.
A brilliant opportunity there by Trio to try to make it 1-0 here in the early stages. Just barely misses it off the crossbar, but we do see Blair's get another opportunity. Cold and Icy flying through. Cold and Icy with a good shot. Trio there to finish it. UCF threw everything they had at stopping that goal, and it was not enough as CMU got 3 shots back-to-back. You see Cold and Icy force 2 in, and then Trio's there just to finish it up and make it 1-0 here in the first minute of the game. There is 4 minutes remaining in this round 3 matchup.
Well, good play from Blair's there. He called out the fake, went back down, flipped on the ground. Cold and Icy hit it on the crossbar, and Trio's there to finish it off for the Chippewas. And that was just a great team play from the Chippewas. Phenomenal design. Blair's the playmaker there, and I think he should get the credit mostly for that goal. Is, you know, that fake call was a great decision on his part. He's really gelling with this team come season start.
Yeah, certainly he's been very, very impactful as we're seeing a back and forth matchup here. He's been very, very important in trying to form the gel. Obviously, we see Cold and Icy, he's the 1v1 demon. He's so good in the 1v1 environments. And we see Trio, he's very, very good at those areas. But Boyers is really the person that can gel it all together and make these guys play together so effectively with his ability to pass and his just consistency overall.
Well, Durkee's going to get one tied up 1-1, but, you know, Lincoln, as you mentioned, Boyers, just almost that gel for the team. Everyone has their role in this team. He kind of plays the playmaker part of things. He gets things going, he gets his team ramped up, and he scores when they need to most. And that's such a good player to have on a team. As Cold and Icy's got an opportunity.
He doesn't have any boost though, sort of out of options. But yes, Boyers is so important to this team to make it gel and make it so effective. As we're seeing here, back and forth, Boyers is there to stop it and collect and go back towards the other side.
Quick pinch from Dirty White Cloud there, and you know, he's had those cheeky 50s, those cheeky pinches throughout the entire match, and has played in USF's favor almost every time, besides the one where it hit off the crossbar and went straight up to the ceiling, resulting in a central goal. However, Dirty White Cloud's going to put this one home. That makes it 2-1. Trio will respawn. Couldn't get there in time. 2:30 left to go.
It is a 2-1 lead, which is, it can be hard to come back from, especially if UCF digs in here and tries to hold it, but it is one goal, and that is all it is. It's one moment that could really make this 2-2 and really push it into a deep run game with a very intense ending here. We're seeing Boeres come right out. He does have almost full boost. You can drop it right on the roll.
Golden Icy's there. It's 50 by Dirty White Cloud. He didn't have an opportunity, but in comes Trio flying down. And another 50 results in Trio's favor. And another 50 results in Boeres' favor. USF cannot get it past these Chippewas on the midline. Golden Icy, an opportunity. Another dunk and another 50 win for them.
Yeah, they're just losing the 50s all over the Trio with a shot there. They do have two back, but they are losing all of these 50s in the middle, which it does seriously help the offense. If you can win those 50s, your offense is going to run so much better because of how important they are to dominating that midfield, that playmaking region of the field. You need to win those 50s.
Golden Icy, he's going to be up now. He mistimes that one. Boeres to collect for the Chippewas, though. He's got no boost, so he'll drop right back down. He might have a ground play. No, Yagami's there to collect it for the Bulls. And it's 50 right back. Straight to Boeres, but Durkee's going to be there to take that one down the right side.
We're seeing this back and forth action. Boeres and Trio both trying to play back a little bit, try to let the playmaking happen. UCF's playing pretty sporadically, so they can decide to see, will UCF sort of play into our strengths, drop something for us? But we do see a very important save there.
Golden Icy couldn't get back in time. 3-1 the score right now. Durkee goes up. He plays for the bump. Gets it on Trio. Boeres finishes the save, but Golden Icy just a little too late. Couldn't save it for the Chippewas. They fall to a 2-goal deficit here in game number 3.
Yeah, certainly. We're seeing the 2-goal deficit is going to be very hard to come back from as we are about to enter the last minute of the game. As we might make it 3-0. It is a 3-goal deficit now with a long shot from Durkee. A possible overcommitment here from CMU as we see Trio and Boeres going to get boost at the same time, leaving that goal wide open and leaving for the possibility. 3 goals is going to be incredibly difficult to come back from now in game 3.
I think it was actually a Golden Icy overcommit there where he pushed up towards center. Boeres is going to have an opportunity to come back. Trio can't finish the ball. They've got 50 seconds left. Anything can happen here in game number 3. But USF not taking their foot off the pedal. They're going to keep pressuring these Chippewas, hemmed in their own zone. We've got almost 30 seconds left to play. They've got another opportunity here. Dirty White Cloud's going to take that one off the backboard, and a wrongful center sends that one to the corner.
Yeah, we're going to see here a sort of changing of the guard now from CMU. We're going to have to see them play a little bit more anxious. They're going to be down a game. They're going to be down a game, back against the wall. It's really do or die for them in this next game as we enter the last 10 seconds of this game 3. This game is going to end, it appears to end 4-1. Oh, we do have one more opportunity from Boeres, but it is going to fall short as this game is going to end 4-1 in UCF's favor, ending this game 3 and putting CMU in do or die mode.
CMU has to win this next game to keep their head above water. Central needs to finish it out. USF needs to win this next game if they want to send the Central Michigan Chippewas packing for their first matchup on this team against the season, or on the season. So Trio kind of taking this time again to recollect his players, get everything back in order, set up a game plan for game number 3, or excuse me, game number 4, where USF leads this series 2-1. They came off a loss against a tough Old Dominion team 3-1 previously. That'll be interesting to see how the Central Michigan Chippewas play on the 21st, where they take on the Monarchs. You know, if they can't beat the team that lost 3-1 to the Monarchs, that's going to be a rough look for the Chippewas.
That will be a rough look. Let's hope that they can really seize back this moment in this game and really try to seize it back, make this game feasible for a comeback. As we've seen so often with CMU, they're great from playing. They're so resilient playing from behind. As we are going into this game 4 with South Florida here in the Rec Center.
Central Michigan, game number 4. 5 minutes is on the clock. 33 boost apiece. And we're about to get set for the matchup that pretty much determines it all here. Will Central stay alive, or will USF send them home packing? We are underway. And Central takes this one right off the bat. Trio's got an air dribble. Durkee on him. Loses the 50. Holden Icy sends that one mid. Wares has an opportunity. He'll cut in far right. Centers. Trio there to finish it off. Puts it to the corner where Holden Icy is going to bump now. And it's a lot of pressure from Central right off the bat.
We're seeing a really good read there by UCF to try to realize exactly what CMU's been trying to do the entire time. They're really good at those team goals going off the backboard as we see Boyers here come back to the connect, but it is going to be in a very dangerous area as Yagami is able to contest and win that to go up 1-0 in the very early stages here. We see Boyers just here with a little bit of a dangerous touch, set it up perfectly for Yagami to get a very simple finish for a player of his caliber.
What a dunk from Yagami there. Just didn't see, or Boyers I don't think saw him coming on that side. He probably had ball cam on to recollect from the corner, as a lot of players will do. Yagami just capitalizes on that opportunity, as we've seen him do a couple times tonight.
We're seeing here
could be another goal. Trio saved. Great play by him to keep the Chippewas in this one.
The 2-0 loot. Oh, we are going to see a 2-0 here as Yagami is able to get a second on CMU in this game. He has been so effective in those closing areas as we see Cloud get the bump on Trio, and then Yagami is able just to finish a very good team goal from them. They really play a different style than CMU does. They go with one, they go in for the bumps, they go in for the disrupts on CMU. Or CMU tries to play more one-on-one in the corners and get those centers. And clearly the game plans are not meshing well for CMU. As we see another uncharacteristic loss there by Colton Icy in the air. His air dribble, it just has not been moving as well tonight, as it's been pretty rare for him to ever mess up something like that if he is not at a boost, which I don't believe he was in that case.
Colton Icy in the corner now, sends it to the center for the Chippewas. Boyers puts it home. He does. 2-1. Central back in this game with 3:30 left to go.
Yeah, we see another one of those characteristic goals, exactly what they're trying to do. A beautiful center there by Colton Icy. Boyers again with that consistent finish from him, able to get that good tap in right into the corner. Very difficult to save by any goalkeeper in the entire league, as we see them try to change the guard here with 2 minutes played here in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this game.
Dirty Cloud's going to send that one to Trio at center pitch. And that's going to go over to the Chippewas, but Colton Icy's there to collect. Central desperately in need of some boost here. They've got to get this one out of the zone, recollect themselves, but Durkee's going to try to double tap this one. Denied by Boyers. An opportunity from Dirty White Cloud. Goes far right. Yagami now. He'll pop it up.
He does mess up the full boost jump, though. He tries to go for that little corner, but he's just not quite able to get there. And we're seeing a counterattack here as Trio is able to get a shot just off the right side of the goal. Just can't quite get that finish in as Colton Icy collects in the UCF end. Oh, my apologies, in the CMU end. As we're seeing another shot here, Durkee is able to get the finish there with a very good shot. We see a little bit of an unfortunate tap from them. Colton Icy's not able to adapt quite fast enough, as Durkee's able to really let CMU try to beat themselves here with the accidental centered balls.
Trio was a little too far away from back post there to really grasp the goal from Yagami, and he's going to pick up another demo on Colton Icy, yeah. Trio, again, not playing his best Rocket League that we've seen this season. He played terrifically the second game, and that's really what helped the CMU team to that victory. However, past couple matches, he has not been himself.
Yes, certainly. Trio's been I think he's trying to establish himself as something different. We saw him change roles as Yagami gets another goal, making it a 3-goal deficit here with just over 2 minutes to play in the closing stages of this game 4. I think Trio's trying to reestablish himself. We saw at the early part of the season, he was at offensive threat, and then he had to move back into more of that defensive role where he was so good. And I think we're seeing maybe another position change by Trio here Seeing another high press by UCF as they are going to get another one, really stacking it on CMU here and making it nearly impossible to come back here in this late stage of game number 4.
Well, great feed there from Yagami to Dirty White Cloud, and he'll finish it off the pinch from the right wall. But I want to go back to that goal a couple seconds ago where Dirty White Cloud had the feed to Yagami over Trio's head, and that was just a great threading the needle moment for the Bulls. It was just a very impressive feed as Dirty White Cloud is going to try to center it yet again for the Bulls, get another one going, but Chippewa's down big here in game number 5. It's not looking too good for him.
Yeah, the Bulls' passing ability is truly something to be admired here. They've been so clinical in those closing areas, especially in the box, to be able to thread those needles like we saw with that previous goal. They've been so effective and so incredibly clinical as we see a shot here, but they are going to have 3 back now, which makes it very, very difficult for anyone to score, no matter what rank of Rocket League you are in. We do see Boyers here try to get another shot, another one off the crossbar by him. And this overcommit this giant commitment may cause another goal by CMU, but at this point, why not go for it? It is 5-1 in the last minute of the game as we officially enter the last minute of this match.
USF 5, CMU 1 as we enter, as you mentioned, the last minute of this game number 5. CMU down by 1 game here, and they need this game to stay in the competition. Trio gets a quick one, 5-3. They're not out of the woods yet. We've seen CMU score multiple goals in just 30 seconds. So now they've got 42 to work with. We'll see if they can get 3 quickly. But Yagami, the story of this match so far, that Yagami Dirty White Cloud connection is just playing in USF's favor to no end. Golden Icy and Blair's on the right side. He'll get a flick over. Dirty White Cloud on him. He's got an opportunity. No good. 30 seconds remain in this matchup. Trio is going to send it over. A 50 comes his way. Cold and Icy down the center. Trio's going to look for the bump play. Blair's misses that one, and that was a rough one by him. 20 seconds now in this matchup.
It cannot be overstated how much CMU needed that goal just a second ago. That will effectively end up being the last 10 seconds with a score of 5-2. Possibly another offense here by UCF, but they are just going for stats at this point as we end this game 5-2 with UCF taking home the set 3 games to 1, and to officially end the match 3 games to 1 is a truly rough score to have for CMU.
I think the biggest story there was just CMU on their miscommunication plays. They weren't playing like themselves. We've seen them play to a very high caliber level of Rocket League throughout the season, and that was just not what we saw today. We apologize for the graphics. The USF did not win 5 games on us. They had 3-1. That final game coming at a score of 5-2. Lincoln 3-2 the loss on the first game, 4-3 win on the second game, and that second game was where CMU really shined. Trio was an outstanding player for the Chippewas, and then the third and the fourth game, 4-1, 5-2 loss respectively. Trio just didn't show out, and kind of walk us through what do you think happened in those those third and fourth games where they lost 4-1, 5-2?
I think we saw in that second game, Trio really came to life. He played more of the role he has been playing here. And then in those third and fourth game, he tried to reestablish himself as something different, something he hasn't done before. And I think we really saw a miscommunication and almost a mix-up in chemistry as we saw Cold and Icy and Boyers try to cover what was lost, especially when Trio plays defensively like that. And I think we saw, obviously, 4-1, 5-2. We saw the outcome of that in those last 2 games.
Definitely. Well, 5-2 loss comes on the fourth game, and an overall 3-1 loss in games for the Chippewas against USF. And USF lost to Old Dominion 3-1, bounces back against the Chippewas 3-1, so that's going to help them moving forward in the rankings. But CMU drops the ball on this matchup. However, coming up next is going to be the Kent State Golden Flashes matchup. The Chippewas look to take this one in the semifinals, so that's going to put them at a very, very interesting standpoint. If they can win this, they'll advance. If they lose, they will fall short. 3-2 the first game matchup score, 4-3 a win the second game, 4-1, 5-2 following that. 3-1 your final score in favor of the University of South Florida Bulls. When we come back, CMU takes on the Golden Flashes of Kent State. Stay tuned. Do you know when we're gonna be ready for game number 2?
We know when roughly we're gonna. We know when roughly we're gonna be on for the second game. 7?
Alright.
Exactly 7.
Once I get invited to lobby, which it looks like they're just doing warm-ups, so once that gets started, I'll send it you guys to control.
Chris, this is a quarterfinal, semifinal.
Yeah, is this quarter semi? That's what I thought.
Quarters.
Here's quarters.
It's quarters. Yes. Jake, you're playing quarters, right?
What league is it?
CCS. What that stands for, I don't know.
Collegiate.
Conference Series.
Okay.
I'm just saying CCS.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that's what we know it is.
We haven't played them this year, have we?
No. I know we.
I don't think we've played them this year.
So yeah, it'll be good.
We haven't played them yet this year, have we?
No. However, we play them in ESC Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
So this is a match that we'll get a feel for to see how they are, and if we get our asses kicked or we kick their asses, that influences the storyline on Wednesday.
Okay. And let's see. So if we lose this one, we're out of the CCS.
Is CCS single elim or double elim? What happens if you lose this game?
We'll figure it out.
I gotta. Seth doesn't know. lobby. Why are the colors like it? Leave that game. Leave that game. Leave that game.
Oh, I was wondering why the colors were so weird.
We're not in the.
Why they were
hang out.
dark green and maroon.
Kent State.
What are they?
That's a tall dude.
What's their mascot?
I don't know. Mount Pleasant, Michigan. My name is Park Morrison alongside
Lincoln Dodds.
And we got this quarterfinal matchup in the CCS, Kent State Golden Flashes, Central Michigan Chippewas. And they play in the ESC on Wednesday this coming week. So this is a really good opportunity for Central to kind of feel out, where the Golden Flashes are in terms of offense, where they are in terms of defense, and, judge who they're going to play on Wednesday. We might see different lineups. Today we're going to be seeing Colton Icy, Schweres, and Trio and Buers. But, depending on how this matchup goes, we might see Uncle Stin sub in on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to see a very important game here. That's important to try to win games like this where we just came off of that loss against South Florida. So if they can really try to seize early in this matchup, try to seize the game, claim this first game, and try to push forward, especially winning the first series, seeing how they do play them on Wednesday. If they can seize it, move forward, it's a good chance they can get the 2-0, especially if it's a blowout here in the game.
Well, NIU, the team that we most recently faced, played Kent State ever so recently, and it looks like NIU took that series. So CMU, coming off that win against NIU, and Kent State coming off that loss to NIU, or as it shows on the records on Twitch for Kent State, we're going to, see how that plays out for Central Michigan. If they, took that as film to study, because they've already played that Husky team, so if they can take that and forward it into today's game, see, who plays what, who plays where, I think Central will have a pretty good chance at beating this team today. So we'll head down to the pitch as we get set to get underway. 5 minutes on the clock, 33 boosts apiece, and we are into game number 1.
We're going to see if they can really move their way back. They struggled with communication in that first set against South Florida, so we're going to see if we can get a little bit of momentum here going. Really try to just play as a team as we see an early offense here by Kent State. It is going to be a highly contested game as it is a tournament game. The effects of this game could spread. If it's a single elimination tournament, this could be out. This could be winners going to the semis, which obviously you're one game away from the finals there, and everybody likes winning the trophy, especially in a sport with as few as there are in Rocket League.
Ware is going to look for the right side pinch there. Colton Icy collects it at midfield. Today we're going to see Gavalanche. Evan, I believe, is how we're going to pronounce that one. And the Menaces.
Seen a very nice goal here. We see a little bit of a feint there, either a miss or a feint there by the goalkeeper of Kent State to really allow an early goal here. 1-0 in CMU's favor as we getting close to the first minute of play, seeing Colton Icy there try to predict the pop-up, just not able to quite get in the way. We are seeing
Eminences tried to send that one on the Chippewa net. Trio is going to deny that chance as Gavalanche sends this one to the left corner, denied by Blares. Well, he'll send it to Trio, pops it back out to the right wall, where collected by Gavalanche.
Seeing a knockdown here. They're trying to play some defense, some harsh defense here in the early as Kent State's able to control the boost on the CMU side is not something you want to see, as it can keep them, as we see Cold and Icy here. We get a fast break against Kent State, as we're seeing Trio here with the cover up. They don't seem as effective in the air as previous opponents have been.
Well, that one goes right over the front bumper of a Kent State Golden Flash. And sent all the way down to the Chippewa zone, where Gavalanche tries to send it middle. He does, but it's Cold and Icy that says no. Send all the way down to the right zone now. Evan plays it. He'll drop down, try to go for a ground play, denied by the Chippewas. Trio, a backwards pinch, no one home for them to finish it out.
Seeing Cold and Icy here really play as the breaking man. He can break out of the back with a lot of speed, try to get to the corner to make that play. They've been so effective in those corners, making something out of nothing. So as we're seeing here, possibly with Cold and Icy moving to the corner with a brilliant cross there by him, just barely knocked up by Gavalanche, as Menses goes the other way very quickly. Luckily, Boyers is able to break it up with the offense. Not really moving very well in either way, as the middle is really going to be where this first game is decided.
And Menenses sends that one to the corner as it's denied. Good save by him as CMU leads by 1. We cannot get anything going offensively besides that previous goal. Blares is going to send that one down. It's a Trio that finishes it off. That's 2-0. 2:15 left to go, and what a great play by Blares there. He'll pop it up, send it to the backboard, send it right down. Evan can't get there in time, and Trio capitalizes on the opportunity.
The one thing I think we saw is that I'm not sure Menses could have gotten to that if he would have double tapped it for an actual shot, as Menses was not in the correct positioning at all to try to get that block. So we're going to see if CMU adjusts to see if can we play a little bit more simple in that closing end. Can we take advantage of maybe their a little bit lackluster aerial performance to abuse it and try to get early goals here and easier goals here. As we see Trio with another shot off the crossbar, very, very close by them. However, we are seeing a good adjustment here by CMU. Try to play that aerial ball where they're just not as strong. Seeing Boyers here go up. Boyers with a beautiful double tap off the crossbar, putting it just beyond the reach of the Kent State defender, as we see him sort of just sit in the goal. Evan sort of jumps up, not able to get in the way at all for the move for a 3-0 lead in CMU's favor in the last minute 45 of this matchup.
Well, Eminence is nowhere to be found on that play. It looked like he was all the way back in the Chippewa zone. That's just a rough communication play from the Golden Flashes. We're seeing CMU come out with a 3-0 lead very, very early. Is that a sign to show on how they're bouncing back from the previous loss to USF?
Well, let's certainly hope so. As we are entering the last minute and a half of this game, we're seeing a very effective defensive play. We are in a dangerous area, though, for CMU as they get the tip, but it does appear to be not a terribly dangerous ball. No real pass. He hit it with his purse, as we like to say, and with very little power on it. Avalanche trying to get something going by himself, but CMU is all over it, bringing that double as Trio ends it off with true finality, demoing him after his attempted trios in the middle there for a possible shot. He's moving back on the fallback.
Evan sends this one to the center. Eminences misses that one, and Gavalanche goes far over the crossbar. Evan finishes it off finally, 3-1. Evan put that one up top. Eminences completely whiffs. Gavalanche misses himself as well, and Evan gets revenge and picks up the first of the series for Kent State.
Menses with a beautiful block there on either Trio, Breweres, or maybe a little bit of both there, as he's able to keep that, keep him from coming across and trying to make that save. We've seen those bumps in the goal be so effective against every team. It's very hard to defend if you have a guy up in your grill like that. As we've seen, Breweres with it get demoed here by Gavalanche. Will knock him back down to 16 boost. Not terribly effective on the defensive end when you have that amount of boost, which is why demoing is so important here with guys who are as good as this. Menses with a beautiful block out as Cold and Icy looking to be there to collect. He is going to get that corner boost first. Just an open miss there, not even requiring Trio to make much of a save, as it looks like we are going to close out that game one as we enter the last 10 seconds of this game. CMU is up 3-1, so if they can make it for one more second, that is going to end game 1. CMU goes up 1-0 in the early stages. A very, very good bounce back from what we saw against South Florida. The communications this year seem to have ironed themselves out as we go into this first game, though Kent State may appear to be a little bit worse than South Florida was, especially in those attacking ends.
Well, no question about it. CMU trying to bounce back from that USF loss as they take game number 1 of this best-of-5 series in the the quarterfinal matchup where they'll head to the semis the following game and then proceed to end up in the finals if they can take that next upcoming matchup against a to-be-determined opponent. Well, we've got a little intermission here as CMU, even though they won that game, is still going to take the time to talk things over, get everything situated, and enter game 2 with a level head.
Yeah, you don't want to ever be too reckless here, especially in a quarterfinal game where it can feel a little bit, you can feel that pressure on you. You don't want to feel that. That's where you get those unnecessary mistakes like we saw last game with them just trying to be a little bit too aggressive in those ending. Overcommits happen, but you don't want to see that. As we are about to get here, it appears into game 2 of this series. If they take game 2, we have seen CMU struggle to take those game 3. If they win that game 3, but it would be very, very essential for them to win as we are going to pan.
Well, we'll head now to the next screen. Kent State CMU back at it again for game number 2. Wares is going to pop this one off the right wall. He's got an air dribble opportunity denied by Evan, who will 50 it, take that one down the length over to midfield, and recollected by his teammate Eminences.
Wares here with a really very good contest. Trio's going to get it down to the corner for a center. A very dangerous ball here by CMU. Avalanche. We apologize. We are having technical difficulties on our side. We're seeing you are back now with it is still 0-0 here as we see a very even game here out of both sides. Actually, in that game 1, we saw some even parts. However, we are going to see here in the last 2 minutes, it is still 0-0. As Golden Icy gets a good tap. We see a double demo, really removing any goalkeeper possibility. Gavalanche is there to make it 1-0 on the day. 1-0 in the set, my apologies. 4 in the set. We see the double demo there by Evan. Really messed up any idea of possibly being able to block that for CMU.
Well, a very interesting strategy here, actually. Looking at all of the ranks for this Kent State Golden Flashes team, it's not exactly what you'd expect. All of these players are even, if not better, on the rankings than Central Michigan as they take a 2-0 lead in game number 2, where Gavalanche actually ranks the highest among these members, sitting at a supersonic level legend in ones. We mentioned countless times in the first matchup against USF for the Central Michigan team that ones is a very good determiner in where you are as a Rocket League player, skill-wise, technical-wise, but it doesn't exactly determine where you are team-wise. And we can see that Gavalanche has that techie ability within the game of Rocket League, but does he have that team play? Yes, he does, on a beautiful play, sending 3 goals in the Chippewas net. Evan with a beautiful feed. Gavalanche there to finish. And this team is meshing tremendously in game number 2. Central needs to recollect themselves.
They're certainly turning it up here in this game, too. It turned around so fast for CMU. They got a little bit comfortable here, else we might see an early goal from him. Trio gets it off the post. So close. Cold Knights just a little bit overplays it. You see another shot off the post, but we're seeing a possible overcommit as Evan moves forward. Trio gets a little nice touch on it just to keep it out of Evan's way, but he is playing very well by Trio. We're seeing him form into the more defensive role. You're about to see a shot here. Eminence with a very good redirect from the assist there. A very nice redirect to make it 4-0 in this game 2 and really try to flip the momentum on its head here in game 2.
Eminence is not exactly looking for the goal there, just got the good bounce on him, and that's a great play from the Golden Flashes. As you know, game number 1 was all CMU, but game number 2 is a dominant performance from the Golden Flashes. We're going to see Buers take this one in the right corner. Those corner bounces are always devious towards you. Avalanche on Cold and Icy, won by Golden Flash.
Seeing here a little bit of movement here from both CMU. I think they're going to try to increase how fast they rotate, try to get in, get out, play more physical, and try to really separate themselves from Kent State, with the remaining 2.5 minutes. They're going to try to settle in, really set the stage for that game 3. If they can't get a goal, it's improbable to think they'll be able to come back in this game.
Wares sent that boost into his favor, and demoed by himself in the corner is Evan. Up now is Wares, lost to 50, down to Cold and Icy, who sits in the net. 2 up, 1 back strategy for the Chippewas, as Cold and Icy and Wares both demoed on that play.
You're seeing, especially Evan, he's been very effective on the demo. We see a shot here a little bit off the top as Cold and Icy gets a very, very nice shot. Trio with a very important bump there, just not able to get that last touch off the post. Trio is there to finish it, making it 4-1 in the game for CMU. It's important that they can start mounting some sort of momentum back. As you see a little bit off the post, Trio beats Eminence back and is able to make it 4-1 in this game.
Well, Eminence is just not able to get back in time, as you know, his teammate wasn't expecting that to go right post and out. Trio finishes it for the Chippewas to get their first of the match. That would have been a rough or a great play from Trio, but Puers actually bumps his own teammate there. They've got an opportunity. Trio didn't see that Puers was on the ceiling there, and a lot of miscommunication from these two right now.
Yeah, I think when we might see another shot. Eminence is there with a very nice corner shot. I don't think, who was that in the goal? Puers. I don't think Puers was there to really, I don't think he was there ready for it at all. Oh, no, it's just Cold and Icy. I don't think Cold and Icy was ready for it in the goal there. As we see another very important demo there by Evan to really bring this game in firm hold of Kent State.
5-1 your score right now as Cold and Icy looks to make it 5-2. Can he? No. Trio no, he doesn't finish. That one off the right post or the left post and out. CMU remains 5-1.
The right post and left post has really just been their enemy. I think that's the third shot that they've rocketed off that post. We've seen them in the past. They've been so clinical putting it into the top corners. They're just struggling a little bit with that today. We saw that in the previous game against UCF where they struggled with the post. However, I think they can pull it back, really refocus after this game, and try to reestablish some momentum as another very dangerous area by Galvantula.
Avalanche sends that one backboard down and in. 6-1 the score. Central looking to just find themselves again, get back in this game. Doesn't look to be a win in any sort of way for them.
They're going to try to refocus, try to recenter themselves here in the last minute. They're going to just try to damage control in this game. See what should we do? How should we adjust into this game 3 to try to reclaim control, really replicate what they did in game 1, and try to really take that third game, which we've seen to be so important here, especially in matchups where it has been as tight as this, with one team being dominant in one and another team being dominant in another game. We're seeing Puers tap to the middle, but it is another goal there by Avalanche as he makes it 7-1, a truly mind-boggling score here.
Well, they pick up the Brazil, and that's a rough play from Central, just centering it for the opponent in game number 2 here. The Avalanche having himself a night. He's got 4 in this matchup. Already passed the hat trick. And Central, I'm glad you mentioned that terminology is just damage control in this game. However, they lost that opportunity as Evan scores an 8th on them, and this is just an absolute disaster for the Chippewas come game number 2. They won game number 1 3-1. They looked very solid against this team, and in comes Gavalanche, and Kent State leads 8-1.
This game has been truly awful for CMU. They've got to try to block it out in their minds. This game is going to be, if they let this play on into the next game and let the momentum carry, there is going to be a great chance that they do not come back from this game. Any thoughts going into this game through how they might adjust a little bit to try to prevent that from happening at all?
Well, Trio finishes at the bottom of the leaderboard, and there is a trend when Trio finishes at the bottom of the leaderboard. Thus, he had his own goal. However, when he finishes at the bottom of the leaderboard, 99% of the time this season, this team has lost. And this was a very big loss for them. Trio is going to take this time to recollect his team, get everyone ready, and get his team set for a game number 3 where they need to bounce back. This won't be, an end-all game for them. However, this team needs the momentum come game number 3. We saw it in the USF game where they bounced back in game number 2 where they had that 4-3 win, and that came right off 2 goals from Bwers where, it swung the momentum. They really need this in this quarterfinal in the CCS.
Yeah, they need it here. They need to really block that game out of their mind. They need to let Trio do what he does, try to establish himself in this game where he's been so effective with it, and try to really step forward and take hold of this third game. A big win would be ideal, but I think at this point, any win will matter here in terms of really shifting the momentum, as it is very hard to play from behind in a game as tight and as competitive as this game has been, with 2 pretty dominant performances, one by CMU and one by Kent State, as we get here into game 3.
Wares looks for the 50. That one gets popped into the back right corner. Gavalanche sends that one out, clears his own. Wares does put it in his own left corner, where Evan's going to collect that one. That one's tipped off by a Chippewa right over to Gavalanche, and he's up. Not before Trio 50s that one, takes it down the right side.
Seeing very, very aggressiveness as Trio gets a demo right off the bat. He's going to try to establish himself early, as we see a very dangerous ball here being played. Eminence is going to step up and play the defensive role here. We've seen him be very effective in that role. Trio is once again playing the offensive role, as we might have a sort of a light shot there by Kent State, as we see Colton Icy try to establish himself in the middle of the field, really trying to be more of a playmaker than we've seen him. He has been trying to struggle into that role a little bit, but he has not proven himself to be as effective as Trio and as Bwers has been. Very dangerous ball, very nice ball there by Colton Knight. I believe that was Bwers, a very nice ball off the ceiling. A little bit of a miss there by the Kent State defender, as he just gets off the ground a little slow. Colton Icy's there to make that very clinical finish to make it 1-0 with just under a minute played.
Well, that was a great play, as you mentioned, from Bwers there. He sees the vision and sees that he can beat his man, so he'll pop it up off the ceiling. And that sends it right down for a Colton Icy finish, where Central Michigan strikes first blood, and they lead in game number 3. Which is a very critical game number 3. Evan takes it right back, 1-1 your score, 3:50 left to go in this matchup.
We see there a very quick response there by Kent State. I think they knew that they had to put it on the accelerator, as we saw from last game. 1-0 leads can get out of hand very quickly, especially if they get that second and third one. So they knew they have to get it right back, and they did to make it 1-1 here with 3:49 left to play in this game 3.
Colton Icy on the right wall now. He'll send that one center. Trio there. No dice for him. Bwers on the 50. He also loses that one. But Colton Icy is going to send it right back to the O-zone, where Gavalanche, 0 boost, is going to collect it. Sends it to the bumper of Trio. Where he'll center, and that's a bad ball for him. Evan has an opportunity, and that's saved, thank goodness, by Colton Icy. That was a very bad center from Trio there. That could have been very dangerous. He is not playing his best Rocket League right now.
Yeah, I think he broke one of the key rules there of Rocket League. Never center it when you don't have the boost to pick it up. You cannot be doing that here, especially with people that have proven themselves to be as clinical as Kent State has been here in this quarterfinal matchup. Trio there with a shot. Evans there to stop it. Bwers there to collect. We're going to see a little bit of a feint there, a little bit possibly the effect of not having any boost really wearing on Bwers there a little bit, as we go with a counterattack here by Colton Icy. Trio, once again, with a little bit of a miss there in the bottom. He needed that to really keep that offensive pressure alive. He just could not maintain it. Seeing Colton Icy here with a very nice finish. Trio was 1v1 with an incredibly nice finish by Trio there, as he gets a beautiful first touch, as we can see here. Just barely tipping it over Eminence, and then he just has enough boost to finish it, with Evan trying to get back to save that. A beautiful finish to make it 2-1 here in game 3.
Well, that was a very interesting play by Trio. It worked out in his favor. We're seeing Trio kind of play really good for about 30 seconds and then just not his best Rocket League for the next 30. And that's a very interesting performance from him. It's a rough play style for his team. And, they expect him to capitalize on a lot of these opportunities. They expect him to be the leader of this Chippewa team. and he's trying to do his best here, but it's just not working out in some favors. As we've got another opportunity here. Trio tried to finish that one, didn't get it to go. But CMU 2-1 lead. 2 minutes left to go. They need to hold on to this one because that puts them in a very good spot to win the series. They need one more game. That puts Kent State in a very tough position where they need that game to stay alive. So we'll see how this last minute and 40 seconds plays out.
We're seeing a very back and forth game. Once again, very even. It's a very good ball there by Trio to try to get it. Unfortunately, his teammates weren't quite there. They didn't have the boost to try to contest that, as I don't think they expected Trio to get through there. They had 2 people on him. We've seen Cold Macy with a good center there. Trio is trying to form more of an offensive role. We saw it at the very beginning of the year, and then he stepped back obviously in the more defensive role and the more playmaking. But now he's stepping back into that offensive role. I think they've decided that it's time to score some goals. It's time to play some more offense. You can be an offensive team and try to just outscore the opponents. How well that has gone, there's obviously been very mixed responses, very mixed ability to do well. As we see Blair's here able to knock it out before Trio gets that little bit of a boost. Doesn't want to contest though. Holding ice in the middle, able to really snuff out that offense before it turns into much of anything. Where's the very important demo there, really knocking the guy out of the backfield. We see Blair's trying to get it out, but Avalanche is there to stop it.
CMU clearing the zone, trying to keep it out, trying to just get it on the offensive end as much as possible. They don't want to give Eminences, they don't want to give Gavalanche, they don't want to give Evan any chance to score on their net with the lead this late into the matchup. 20 seconds left and CMU takes his victory. A rough play by the Golden Flashes there. Colden Icy hit that one off the crossbar.
Another shot. Not quite, as just 2 near goals to really seal the game as we enter the last 5 seconds. The game is never really over with a very dangerous ball here. See Beware is here with the finish. That is going to end game 3. CMU with a very, very tight game there to make it 2-1, to really come from behind and try to secure the game. What did you see in that game that was different from that disgusting 8-1 loss in that second game?
Well, we saw Colden Icy really perform in the goalie role there. You can see he had 5 saves, so a great performance from him. We didn't see Trio at the bottom of the leaderboard. He performed, semi to his best. He had a couple moments there where he had some good opportunities. Excuse me. He had a goal there, he had a save there, and he had a couple great shots where he was able to try to put something on net to no dismay, saved usually by Eminences, but we didn't see Gavalanche in that matchup perform nearly to the caliber that we saw him play in the second matchup. He had 4 goals on the Chippewas on an absolute lackluster defensive performance from them. And we head into this match where Gavalanche just was very subsidized. They calmed him down immensely, and they were able to perform to a higher level that we're used to seeing them play. So Central's going to head into game number 4 with a very solid advantage here. They need one more to send the Flashes packing home, and CMU can advance to the next round of this CCS tournament. However, Kent State needs this one to stay alive. We'll head to the pitch, 5 minutes on the clock, and we are set for the matchup that's really going to decide all of it. As a quick one from Eminences, and he was just waiting for a golden flash there to finish it off. It was bounced perfectly from the ceiling, dropped dead center in the middle of the net there. To no dismay, no one puts it home for him. We'll stay 0-0 with 15 seconds left starting this matchup. Gavalanche has an opportunity, and it's, shot after shot from the Golden Flashes right off the bat.
I think they realized we need to take control of this game. You can't go down. If you go down 2-1 and then you lose the momentum even more, that can just be the game without much. As we see Evan go up here for another one, he doesn't quite get the full power he wanted on it. As we're seeing Colton Icy here with the contest, knocking it out of the way here. We're seeing a very sporadic play from both sides. Something we usually see more in game 1, more in game 1s and 2s, but now we are here in game 4. And maybe it's because it's a tournament, maybe because it's such a tight matchup, but both teams are playing incredibly aggressive and incredibly sporadic here in game 4.
Evan looking for the center, Gavalanche to the redirect. Eminences has an opportunity, denied by Boyers. What a play from the Golden Flashes. Great communication from them. Boyers on the bump, tried to send one home. We're 3:45 left in this matchup. No goals yet. Evan has an opportunity, denied by Trio. And Evan, again, just sitting there, centering the ball, waiting for his teammates, and nothing becomes of it. They cannot get anything going. The communication looks great for a couple seconds, and then lackluster the next. So very back and forth play style from both teams here.
I think the best way to describe this matchup so far has been situational. We've seen Trio, who has been very good in the 30 seconds or 40 seconds where he really can get a hold of it. And we've seen the Golden Flash has been really good. As we see here, Evan gets a goal to make it 1-0 here with just under 2 minutes being played here. We've seen both sides be very, very good for short spans, those 30-second increments where they put up 1 or 2 goals, and then we've seen it go back to neutral where neither side can really get much going. Both sides are momentum-based. We're going to see if CMU can kill off this momentum and try to move it forward to get that second goal that they need to really kill off and move this game into a position where it is winnable and on their side.
Colton Icy didn't see the 50 upcoming. He had ball cam on, and that's going to deny the opportunity for the Chippewas. But he'll send it right back to the O-zone where Avalanche is there. No, as he's bumped, and that was almost a great shot from Colton Icy. Imminences will save that one. A quick flick over, and down goes Trio as Evan pops that one to the left of him. What a play from him there. 2-0, the Golden Flashes lead.
A very, very nice shot there by Evan. Not much Trio can do there. He's trying to play both balls. Unfortunately, obviously, he couldn't get in the way of that one. It was too hard, too fast for him. It is very, very competitive here with just over 2:30 left to play. I think we're going to see a very tight matchup here as one goal could really decide it. We see the two goal idea all the time where if one person gets one with a 2-0 lead, they're going to get 2. And that 2 leads to 3, and then this game is on its head. So you can blink, as we might see it with Trio. A very nice save. We might see another one from Blair's there to get the finish with a very, very chaotic finish there as we see 5 of the 6 cars directly in the goal, all within the span of about, 10, 20 meters there?
Exactly. Well, CMU bringing some life back into this team, 1-2 in favor of the Golden Flashes. Trio's got a flick here. He's got no boost, but Blair's in the corner has 100. They've got to get back. They've got to recollect themselves so they don't get opportuned on. Trio on the right wall. He'll send up to Colton Icy, who will center for Blair's. Blair's on the backboard now, denied on the chance by Evan. It's just a lot of back and forth play. CMU not able to put a lot of shots on net besides the one opportunity they had where they capitalized and scored.
Yeah,
State.
All you need though is that one shot. I would rather have 2 really nice shots than 30 shots that aren't even close or just go off the backboard. It's the ones that are important are the ones that you should score. As we see a very nice shot here, just a little bit too high for Kent State as we are moving into a very offensive style. Both teams are playing 2 forward, 1 back. Not something we've seen terribly often. Usually a team adapts and plays some different version. As we see a very nice shot here by Colton Icy, knocking it off the crossbar with a very, very beautiful finish there by Colton Icy to make it 2-2 and tying up this game going into the last minute of this matchup.
Well, we like to call that one a bar down, and they certainly bar down. 2-2, tied up with 1:11 here in this matchup. What a shot from Colton Icy. You couldn't have put that one on net any more perfect. That was the exact position it needed to be at for it to get past the Golden Flash defender. As they had a quick chance there, that one went off the backboard or the crossbar and out. As he tried to send that one back, Gavalanche with an opportunity, and he's demoed by Colton Icy.
Where is he with very little boost, but he does have full possession. We've seen him with the possession so much. Trio gets the shot. It is saved by Evan there. As we see a possible opportunity here by the Golden Flashes if they're going to step forward. Nearly another opportunity for CMU as both sides are just coming out swinging. They're going to try to play. I don't think either team wants to go into overtime. So you see another shot here off the crossbar. And Kent State will get that 3-2 lead with another shot off the crossbar. They can't quite track CMU, that guy out of the backfield. As we see imminence there. Colton Icy just not able to quite get to it with, I believe that was Trio going to get boost on the other side.
Well, Blair's there, tried to play the backboard man And that's exactly what you want to do in that scenario, and it's just unfortunate for the Chippewas that they got denied that opportunity so quickly. Trio gets denied by Imminences, and they go up 4-2 here. Kent State leads this one late into the match. Central needs 2 quick goals if they want to send the Golden Flashes home. But right now, Kent State controls this match with 18 seconds left to go.
Yes, we're looking here at a very, very tight game. I don't think this game really decides momentum too much. Both sides had their wonderful moments. Going into that game 5, I think both teams are going to really look to try to close out the game. They're going to try to be very, very technical, very, very professional here in the final game as we go to a 4-2 loss for CMU here in game 4.
Well, the exact same score as game number 3, this time going in favor of the Kent State Golden Flashes. And we have not seen Trio hit the top of the leaderboard a single time tonight, rather not even in the USF matchups, and not here. Trio is just trying to recollect himself, get back in this one. We see Buers sit at the top of the leaderboard on that one. Trio, no goals in this matchup.
We have seen Buers be so consistent. He's really that benchmark for Trio. You know he's doing great if Trio is above Buers. And Buers is always at that 378. He's always doing great. He always gets 1 to 2 goals. He's always great when at defense. He's really that benchmark for the whole team. If the team can elevate above him, the team is most likely winning. If they're below him, then obviously, like we saw, they can struggle significantly, especially in a game as tight as this.
Well, it's also very situational here. Trio, the leader of this Chippewa team, usually sits at the 1 or 2 spot, but we haven't seen a lot of that today. We've actually seen him more near the bottom. Cold and Icy usually follows second. Blair is bringing up the rear 99% of the time, but that doesn't mean that the team is doing bad. You can sit at the bottom of the leaderboard and win 20 to absolutely nothing, and that's the beauty of Rocket League is you're able to still see a high level of gameplay. The scoreboard doesn't really matter. However, when you take a loss, you tend to look at that scoreboard, see who had how many saves, who had what went wrong, and it's a good benchmark to recollect your team, see who's a good defensive player, who's a good offensive player, and try to recollect that team, get something going for the next matchup. We apologize for the graphic. Kent State does not have 4 wins. CMU does not have 3 wins. That is a mistake on our end. We apologize for that, as Kent State has 2, CMU has 2. This is a do-or-die scenario for both teams. We'll get that graphic fixed for you as soon as possible.
This is exactly what we want out of a semifinal game as tight as, my apologies, and out of a quarterfinal game as tight as this. We want both teams to fight as hard as they can and really provide a great, great environment for everyone who's watching this. We see as a very good top hit off the top, forced by, I believe that was Buers, as we are seeing a little bit of a graphical issue on our side. Nothing to be by, it should return in just a minute. Just as we cross that 4-minute mark, seeing a little tap up here, Buers with a possible opportunity to really mess it up. We're seeing very effective defensive play here by Kent State. Not going to give anything easy in this do-or-die game.
Well, you saw Imminences literally sit, not move, but sit at back post the entire time the Chippewas were on the offensive zone. And, we might see that a lot throughout this matchup. As Cold and Icy is going to get a nice bump. Trio try to finish that one. Denied by Evan, and it's going to be a very defensive play style. I think Buers off the ceiling and in. 1-0. Central strikes first blood in this do-or-die moment, and they take the lead. What a pinch from Cold and Icy. What a finish from Buers.
Absolutely beautiful finish there by Buers, making it nearly impossible for any goalkeeper to stop that. As we see Cold and Icy here really maintain possession here. Going into this last game, Cold and Icy has been playing very well. He hasn't gotten as many of those 1v1 moments as he likes to see, but he has been he's been doing very well to support his teammates, very well to be a great, great player in this set. Well, a miscommunication there by CMU allows a wide open Evan to get a pretty simple goal for any player that's playing at this level, as we see Buers and Trio, just a little bit of a miscommunication there. Neither of them had any boost to stop that. As we go back to 1-1 here in this Game 5, this do-or-die match, just with 3 minutes to play here in this match.
This is going to be a very interesting moment for the Chippewas as we play them yet again on an upcoming Wednesday. That's a very, it's a very good benchmark for this team. They came into Game 5. We are tied 1-1 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the matchup. And it's a great way to look at these teams. They're very, very evenly matched right now. I feel like that game number 2 was a little bit of an outlier where they lost 2-1. This team is going to have to look to come back, reclaim their throne, and get this game set up for a victory. We sit just over 2 minutes left to go. Both teams sit at 2 games apiece. Both teams sit deadlocked at 1. And this could be a next goal wins it.
We're seeing here a great amount of offensive pressure here from CMU with all 3 up, trying to make those rotational runs, jumping through the middle. So we see another one from Trio with a possible shot just barely off the top right corner of the backboard. As we're seeing both teams really play a interesting, more together style of play compared to what we've seen in the past.
Whereas couldn't tell if that was a miss or a fake. Either way, it worked out for the Chippewas, and then a pinch comes out of him. Trio, he'll play the aerial now, drops it, slight touch over Cold and Icy's head. That's a bad bump by him. Wares has to recollect the team. 50s and does. He'll play it in the corner. And air dribble it out of the zone, gets the flip reset, sends it over. Oh, what a play. He goes down the right side. He'll ground dribble to the right. Trio's there, trying to put it to the corner. No dice for him. And it's cleared yet again for the Chippewas.
A beautiful dribble there by Wares, getting it out of the bag, dribbling through the middle. He's just, unfortunately, they just are able to telegraph it just a little bit too well to keep that momentum moving. As we see Gavalanche not Cold and Icy out here for just a second, knocking it back down to the 6th boost that is so important for his game plan. Wares is able to, looks like, to deny any offense by Kent State as they go right back the other way. As we see Cold and Icy here with a block. Does leave the goal open a little bit.
Bump is actually going to cost them there. He recollected himself enough. We'll take a look at the replay here. We're not going to be able to see it right away, but Wares isn't going to have time to get back. Cold and Icy missed the second bump that caused his man to get back, send that one to center, and it is finished off by Kent State. CMU needs a goal with 45 seconds left in this matchup. It's a do-or-die scenario for them. They could be kicked out of the quarterfinals really early on in this tournament if they're not able to recollect themselves. Get another goal with 30 seconds left.
We're seeing here a very, very competitive game. This game is certainly not over by any factors of the meaning as we enter the last 30 seconds here. We're going to see some very, very offensive play here by CMU. I think we're going to see less defensive commitment at all.
They have an opportunity here. Wares is in the corner. He'll pop that one up. Gavalanche tried to deny it, but it's dropped right in front of the Chippewa net. They've got an opportunity. 5 seconds left to go. Wares sends that one back. He's bumped. 0 seconds hit the clock. They need to drop it. They do. Kent State takes the victory. 2-1 loss in game number 5.
About as close as any game can be between these two great programs here at CMU and then obviously at Kent State. Very, very effective by both teams.
Well, CMU won game number 1 3-1. An absolute mishap in game number 2, losing 8-1, a win 4-2, a loss 4-2 in 3 and 4 games respectively. And then that game 5 comes at a loss on the hands of the CMU Chippewas. They'll face them again on Wednesday, though, where they've got an opportunity for a rematch. However, this was a quarterfinal match in the CCS, not a league that is very not important, what's the word for it? Not as detrimental to the Chippewa career as something like an NACE tournament would be, a more popular and a more influential league. However, CMU is going to look to bounce back on Wednesday and get that that series number 2 against the Golden Flashes.
Yeah, I think we're going to see them try to bounce back. They might be playing for a little bit of revenge there in that Wednesday game, try to really win that back in the league play. However, I think we saw a very strong showing out of them. I think they're going to try to bounce back. I think we're going to see some coaching adjustments maybe by CMU to try to really adjust and bring back from this 0-2 night and try to bring it back against Kent State to maybe get that one win back and try to win in the league play more.
Well, before Kent State, the first Wednesday match is going to come at the hands of Ball State. against the Chippewas. We haven't seen them play the Chippewas thus far this year, so it's going to be an interesting matchup to see, how they match up. Ball State not very, very solid in league play, sitting at around 500. However, Central Michigan just slightly above them. We'll see how that matchup tunes out. Both pretty evenly matched teams, but again, we saw a team that on paper was projected to win by quite a lot, and Central Michigan kept with them 500 on the season for them. So we'll see, as per usual, how this all plays out on Wednesday. So thank you all for tuning in. For Parker Morrison alongside Lincoln Dodds, the rest of our crew out there, we say so long. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you Wednesday for CMU taking on a revenge game against Kent State. But before that, Ball State. So we'll see you then. Stay tuned.